So, any fun surgery stories from the operating room lately?
This is gonna be good.
You guys, there were 3 surgeries back to back. The first one was an amputation of a diabetic patient.
Another foot?
You betcha! Then we had a guy who turns out had appendicitis, so we had to remove that.
Sorry, he had what?
Appendicitis. So we did that, and then there was an emergency C-section. And guys, this baby was huge! Like the biggest baby I've seen yet.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
So, any fun surgery stories from the operating room lately?
This is gonna be good.
You guys, there were 3 surgeries back to back. The first one was an amputation of a diabetic patient.
Another foot?
You betcha! Then we had a guy who turns out had appendicitis, so we had to remove that.
Sorry, he had what?
Appendicitis. So we did that, and then there was an emergency C-section. And guys, this baby was huge! Like the biggest baby I've seen yet.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
We going Brad's house.
We're going where?
We going Brad's house.
I'm sorry, we're going where?
Brad's house.
Oh, Brad's house. Yeah, we're going to Brad's house next.
We going Brad's house.
We're going where?
We going Brad's house.
I'm sorry, we're going where?
Brad's house.
Oh, Brad's house. Yeah, we're going to Brad's house next.
Hi, welcome to Tom Hortons. How can I help you?
I'll have a chocolate dipped donut and a white hot chocolate with a chai tea bag.
Chocolate dipped donut and white hot chocolate with chai tea bag. Would you like a small, medium, or large?
She's asking what size of drink you want.
Oh, sorry. I'll have a medium. Oh, and can I have a blueberry muffin?
Blueberry muffin. Alright. Anything else?
Can I get a frosted cinnamon roll and a large double-double?
Frosted cinnamon roll and large double-double. Do you have a Tom Hortons card?
Yep.
Okay. Your total for today will be $9.78.
On debit.
Hi, welcome to Tom Hortons. How can I help you?
I'll have a chocolate dipped donut and a white hot chocolate with a chai tea bag.
Chocolate dipped donut and white hot chocolate with chai tea bag. Would you like a small, medium, or large?
She's asking what size of drink you want.
Oh, sorry. I'll have a medium. Oh, and can I have a blueberry muffin?
Blueberry muffin. Alright. Anything else?
Can I get a frosted cinnamon roll and a large double-double?
Frosted cinnamon roll and large double-double. Do you have a Tom Hortons card?
Yep.
Okay. Your total for today will be $9.78.
On debit.
What you just saw are examples of what I deal with on a regular basis. You may recall in the past, whether on videos or streams, that I've mentioned that I have a hearing problem. These problems that I've been dealing with haven't been recent. They've essentially been there my whole life. Let's start near the beginning when the trouble began to start. At 18 months old, I developed a nasty habit of getting ear infections. It was confirmed that I had chronic ear infections. My mom would take me to the doctor, and the doctor would give me medicine for it. But this kept happening, and again, and again, and again, they would come back. And my parents were getting frustrated because of my numerous ear infections. And after they became chronic, my mom kept asking my doctor if I could have tubes inserted in my ears. For those of you who've never dealt with chronic ear infections and have no idea what tubes are, tubes, which go by many names, are little cylindrical devices that are surgically placed into the eardrum to let fluid drain out, and these tubes eventually fall out. Yet, despite my mom's requests for me to get tubes, my doctor didn't think it was that bad. The ear infections kept coming during my mom's pregnancy with my brother, and even after my brother was born. Finally, at about the age of 3, my doctor finally said if she has one more ear infection, she'll get tubes. And as fate would have it, that ear infection was my last chronic ear infection. However, although I seemed to return to normal, the unseen damage was done. My ear infections caused me to be a delayed talker. I wasn't talking in the complete sentences that I should have been, and my speech was off. I didn't talk to many of my peers, leaving me to not have many friends even in preschool. It would eventually lead me to have speech therapy when I was in 1st grade. Another symptom was how loud I had the TV when I was watching a show or a movie. It was usually my dad who would come in and be like, "Turn it down!" And yes, I would use that voice because he was also slightly exaggerating. But then I'd have to sit really close to the TV because I was having troubles listening to it. Yet the irony was that even though I liked the TV or radio really loud, every time my mom would turn on the vacuum cleaner, I would cover my ears because it was too loud. My mom actually just recently told me of this situation that happened that I don't even remember happening. Near the end of kindergarten, during parent-teacher interviews, my teacher told my parents that I was behind in my reading, and she thought there was something wrong with me cognitively because I wasn't on par with the other kids in their reading levels. My parents were furious to hear that. Every parent hates it when someone criticizes their own kid like that. The teacher even talked to them about holding me back a year, but my parents pressed on that I was supposed to go to 1st grade with the other kids. And I did eventually catch up with the kids' reading level in grade 1 after my speech therapy. While the bigger issues subsided for a long time, there was still something going on. During my entire time at school, I would have troubles listening to the teachers. And this led me to doodle a lot in my books because, really, I was having a hard time hearing them. Group discussions were the worst. I couldn't focus on just one conversation. I would literally hear snippets of other conversations no matter how hard I focused, unintentionally eavesdropping on everyone's conversation. I rarely followed along with written or verbal math problems, leading me to overall have a bad grade in math. I usually became quiet when there was lots of talking or noise, as it would overwhelm me to talk as well. I usually would come back home exhausted, no matter how much activity I did that day. Didn't matter if we had gym that day or not, I was still exhausted. Not only that, but even just trying to listen to my mom with the instructions, and her having to repeat them a lot, or I would easily forget about them, as well as a very messy room because I was so disorganized. I didn't really think it was too much of a problem until I went to college. I noticed that I had better grades and easier time understanding professors who used visual aids like PowerPoint than I did with professors who just spoke and you had to write notes based on that. In fact, when studying for one of these classes with my new boyfriend Robin, I'd look at his notes for one class and he would have pages and pages of notes, and yet I only had 2 pages of notes. I often misheard conversations in the dining room, which led to frustration, but humor for my friends. But it wasn't until my 2nd year at college my friends began saying, "Lissa, you need a hearing test." At first they were joking, but then they became a little bit more serious. So I decided to go and get a hearing exam. Results? My hearing was perfectly fine. I went back to the friends who had told me to get my hearing tested, and they couldn't believe the results. It was then that I noticed that something wasn't right, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And life went on. I moved to the city and eventually got a salon reception job after my illustration job and schooling fell through. I struggled with hearing people on the phone. I struggled with people with thicker accents. I went home exhausted every day, and this lasted a year and a half. Eventually, I got a job as a school bus driver. However, my first school was for kids with moderate to severe special needs, and none of them talked, so it really was the perfect job. Then my second school was for a Catholic school, and that's when I really noticed when I ran a diesel bus with lots of chatter. I would struggle to hear what the kids were saying to me when they would ask me something or say something to me. I struggled with hearing conversations in so many circumstances that I took another hearing exam, and my hearing was still fine. Even my medical exam, before I became a school bus driver, my hearing was just fine. But it wasn't, and it was frustrating, and I knew something was wrong. but I couldn't find out what it was until earlier this year.
Just kidding, it's not earlier this year. This was supposed to be done before 2020, but life had other plans. So translate that into earlier in 2019. Either way, sorry about that. This is a two-parter, or else this would have ended up being like an over 20-minute long video. Either way, so stay tuned for part 2. It'll be uploaded in a week. Exactly. So watch out for that. Thank you so much to my colorers and voice actors, Snowy Glossy and Misty, for doing both coloring and voicing, and Zodi Ziabel for doing some art as well. Thank you so much, guys. You guys help take a load off my shoulders, and I love interacting with you guys. So yeah, stay tuned. I hope to see you then. Alright, bye guys!